In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 key ingredients for healthy soil. Now, when we talk about soil, we're talking about plant soil primarily, but our bodies have its own soil system, and we'll get into it. But basically, the extracellular matrix is the body's soil system. And we'll talk about how 5 key factors for plant soil also apply directly one-to-one to the health of our body's soil. So this is a concept within the larger framework of European biological medicine that is really key to understanding how and why the remedies and medicines that we use in European biological medicine work so well. So let's talk about plant soil initially. So let's say we have a potted plant and we have the soil there. There are 5 key things that plant soil needs in order to allow for the healthy growth of a flower. Number one is nutrients. We need a healthy amount of proper nutrients in that soil to allow for healthy growth. So for plants, that includes nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc. Those need to be present in the soil of the plant to foster healthy growth of that plant. The second is water. We need water, hydration, in order for the roots to absorb and to provide water for the plant. So we need a good amount of water, healthy amount of water in our potted plant to allow for the proper growth of the flower. Third is oxygen. So primarily we think of carbon dioxide when we think of plants, but actually the root system of a plant requires oxygen in order to function properly. So we need to make sure that the soil of the plant is well aerated in order to provide the proper oxygen for the root system and the health of the plant. The fourth is proper pH balance. So the pH balance from a scale of acidic to basic, we need to be slightly more acidic for plant health, for the soil of the plant, around 6 to 7, 7 being neutral. Around 6 to 7 for most plants. Some plants are actually require a little bit more basic, some require a little bit more acidic, but the general range is slightly acidic to neutral for plant soil. And the last one is drainage. By drainage, we mean the allowance of proper water flow to come out. If there's any kind of stagnation of water that happens, we can get root rot, we can get fungus overgrowth. So we need to have proper drainage. We need drainage holes on the bottom of our potted plants in order to allow excess water to seep out. If there's no drainage and the water builds up and we get root rot and microbial overgrowth and fungus. All 5 of these key important ingredients apply directly to the human body, almost a 1-to-1 correlation for the health of the body. Modern science is obsessed with individual cells. Here we have a picture of an individual cell, and we talk about individual cell biology and how we can better understand the functions of cell, which are extremely complex, but we neglect to understand the environment in which that cell lives in. And every cell is bathed in the extracellular matrix, or the body's soil. This is the space here that surrounds each cell. It's made up of a scaffolding of proteins. So this scaffolding of proteins includes collagen, elastin, glycoproteins, keratin, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin. These are proteins that allow for the structure and for the stability of the extracellular matrix space. And this is that soil. When we talk about the fascia of the body, when we talk about the interstitium of the body, we're talking about larger scale versions of this basic unit. This basic unit is also sometimes referred to as the Pischinger unit, or the Pischinger space. Alfred Pischinger was the first scientist to highlight this key important space in the body in a really profound and fundamental and foundational way, to understand that the body is an interconnected whole. It is not, can't think of just individual cells. We need to think of the community of cells in the greater environment. So what makes up this body's soil is, again, these scaffolding proteins. Fat cells can live in this space. Fibroblasts are really important cells that live in this space, because fibroblasts actually help to build the scaffolding. And then importantly, we have immune cells. We have also the nervous system touches the space, both the parasympathetic, the rest and digest part of the nervous system, and the sympathetic nervous system touches the space. And then on the outer edge of the space, we have the capillaries. The capillaries provide the blood cells, which provide the nutrients and the oxygen into the space that then get absorbed into the cells. So the receptors of our cells actually point into the space, And the health of the space actually affects the ability of these receptors to function properly. So the cells themselves produce their metabolisms. They have their metabolisms, they produce waste, and that metabolic waste goes into the space and is either absorbed back into the capillary system or, more importantly, through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system acts like the primary detox pump of the extracellular matrix space. Every extracellular matrix space in the body is touched by the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system draws and sucks out all waste toxicity from the space into lymphatic circulation, where through the drainage pipeline, it goes out of the body eventually as urine, waste, or sweat. So this is key functional unit of the body. So what do we need for the health of this space? The exact same things we need for the health of soil of our plants, we need for the health of the extracellular matrix space. So nutrients, we need the proper minerals, vitamins for this space. We need vitamin C, we need magnesium, we need key minerals, trace minerals for this space to function properly. Water, water is really important for this space, and not only just regular H2O, but actually this space is made up of something called easy water. Easy water is the fourth phase of water, that actually is a unique phase, a gel-like phase of water that has a negative charge that builds around the proteins. That negative charge then repels the positive charges, and we get a buildup of voltage in this space as well, which is important. Toxicity and waste products are positively charged, and when they go into this space, because of the charge of the space that gets built up by the easy water, they are more easily repelled into lymphatic circulation or capillary circulation. If there is not a charge, if the space is not charged properly, then we get a buildup of more and more toxicity in this space rather than a healthy flow outwards from this space. So really key easy water. And easy water is produced by infrared light. Actually, exposure to infrared light produces this easy water, and minerals produce this easy water. So colloidal minerals help to produce this type of water. Grounding electrical current that we get from the earth actually helps produce this easy water in this space as well. So really key. The third is oxygen. So we get oxygen from the capillaries through our blood. Oxygen gets released into the space where it then gets absorbed by our cells and is used in metabolism, produces CO2, which doesn't get released in the space, absorbed by the capillaries, and then out through the body through the lungs. Oxygenation of the space is really key. When we have poor oxygenation of the space, we get buildup of disease process and unhealthy matrix, and we develop anaerobic aspiration instead of aerobic aspiration. So anaerobic is more the realm of more diseased cells. Cancer cells live on anaerobic aspiration. So we need oxygen in this space to have a healthy space as well. The fourth is pH balance. So our extracellular matrix actually requires a slightly more alkaline, so from 7 to 8 pH. We need a slightly more alkaline space in order for this space to be slightly more alkaline pH for this space to be healthy. And so what causes alkalinization of the space? Having a diet that's high in alkalizing foods. So leafy vegetables, greens, these are really key, important components of more of an alkaline type diet, which lets produce more alkalinity in this space. Sodium bicarb is our body's natural alkalinizer that we use to alkalinize this space, alkalinize the soil. And so that's another buffer that our body uses to keep this space alkaline. If this space becomes too acidic, then we get the development of disease, get the development of dysfunction, degeneration in our cells. So keeping this space healthy and pH balance is also really critical. And the last one is drainage. We need to have proper flow of toxins out of this space, and that primarily comes initially through the lymphatic system, but then we go into the liver, we go into the kidneys, and we go into the gut when you get the removal of toxicity out of the body. So this is a really key space to know and understand. And if you are a practitioner, this key is vitally important for you to understand and think about all the time with your patients in order to really address root cause dysfunction. If we're addressing these 5 key ingredients of the space, of the soil of the body, we can really address health and wellness in the body and allow for self-regulation, self-management. Once the space is clean and healed and the cells are functioning properly, then they function by self-regulating, self-managing themselves. We don't have to keep putting input into the cells to manage and direct functions. If we have a healthy space, a healthy functional unit, the nervous system is going to function better, the capillary system is going to function better, the cells are going to function better, and we're going to feel healthy, more energetic, and more vital as the body optimizes this space. So I'll be talking more about this in my coming videos, but I wanted to introduce the concept of the body soil. It's so key and critical for optimal health.